Okay, we're live. Hi, how you doing, guys? After your entire interest and your hopes, prayers, and anything else that's entertaining, we got four older guys hanging out. Used to be, well, some are comics still, and we're going to be talking about a whole series of things. So just sit down, relax, and enjoy it. If you want to, get in a rocking chair, sit up next to the fire, start knitting, and let yourself go and let yourself have a tranquility moment. Okay, we'll start some ocean sounds for you soon. So, but before that happens, let's get Mark Sweetman out here.
Hey. Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much. Four old guys, and you forgot to mention a young, beautiful woman.
Oh, sorry.
Susan will be with us as she reads the poem. So I'll bring Andy back up here. There we go.
That was my mistake. I was going to mention her. I forgot about it. I'm terribly sorry. I got so involved in my HMR programming, I got to put in a bunch of lies about how much walking I did. So just, it's all about the food and all that stuff. I ate the food, but the walking got away from me. But I do apologize about not mentioning.
Lying on your program, does that really help? I mean, is that going to further the cause, or?
Well, it helps me.
I like that. Yeah.
No, I just kidding around. I don't lie.
Yeah, kind of like Weight Watchers sometimes I think should be weight bitchers.
Pretty much, and the thing is, I really probably should get back on a weigh-in system. Where I have to go and weigh in so that other people can tell how much I weigh. So it's like it's just too easy to cheat on this program. So that's the issue.
My most successful weight loss program was my doctor telling me I was diabetic and I had to cut out carbs.
Got it. But even that, you're kind of like, is Rice Krispies really? Can it be part of the rice program? I eat rice every day. Can I have Rice Krispies?
How about
a Rice Krispie bar? Can I have that?
Right, yeah, there you go. Rice Krispie bar. Go for that.
Yeah, it's the same. Okay.
So I wasn't at the Unclub last night. How'd it go?
Well, apparently it was my night, and I was driving on the other side of the city of Detroit. I got there late.
Okay.
But apparently there was a whole series of kids up front, and nobody had any clean material.
Oh no!
I was even assaulted by Mr. The Spitfire and said, "We needed you. We needed you." It's like,
why can't everybody write clean material? Just write clean material. What's so hard to have 5 minutes of clean material?
I mean, that to me is like, it's a basic lesson. I mean, clean guys have to have at least 50 minutes of dirty material, and then dirty guys have to have at least 15 minutes of clean material.
That's just the way it is.
If you want to work, you gotta be able to offer that to your employees or employers.
Man,
I mean, I didn't have really that much dirty stuff, but I could talk in some sort of dirty sort of material stuff or bring in some dirty illusions. But I never really.
Basically, if I needed to add dirty material to my act, I would end every joke with, "And that gives me a boner."
There you go. Exactly.
Don't change any of the material. Just mention that that gives me a boner.
Yeah, just so I made it. I try to do clean material, so it makes it so they know I'm uncomfortable about it. So I try to make humor about being uncomfortable about it. It's like, it's like, so there I was, doing it. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, when we go to Clean Humor once a month, it's going to be you and me. Is that going to be it? We're going to be the only ones on the show. And Susan.
No, actually, I'm trying to get that list to you of the group that happens out of that church. Get a list of those guys that can come over and fill in for us.
All right, and Susan. Now Susan's going to have her bell there.
Oh,
you've heard Susan. You've heard Susan's bell, right?
I think I heard the bell.
It's a very funny premise. She says, what you're going to do is you're going to go up there and you're going to say, I'm trying to work on clean material. So Susan is going to alert me every time I do something that's not clean. and then she rings it every time she thinks I should do it. And then of course, each time the way the skit was supposed to go, each time she rings it, I was supposed to get more upset and say dirtier words. And so the bell just is continually ringing all the time.
Yeah, you know what you should. You know what you should do?
What?
Is give her like a buzzer.
A buzzer. I like that. No, the bell sounded great because everybody could hear it. The buzzer, I'm not sure.
But what you do is you say, I have a testicle clamp that if she pushes the button, she will get a jolt to my penis.
Administer a shock to me.
A shock to my testicles, and then you act out the shock to the testicles.
Yeah. I think she'd want that that'd be a 24-hour attachment. I don't think that would be just during my act. All right. Well, speaking of Susan, are we ready to bring Susan out to start our show with her poem?
Oh yes. We must have the poem.
And I should get music for that too. I'll look for it on another week. Okay. Anyway, be that as may, let's bring Susan out here. Hello, Susan.
Hello. Hey, the bell I think works well because it's like the Scripps Howard spelling bee.
Spelling bee.
Oh yeah.
So when you get it wrong or you say a cuss word.
The other thing too is in this age of digital, the buzzer sounds too much like you're editing out, like it's being censored out or something.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
So the bell, I think the bell works. It's portable, doesn't need electricity.
Well, but I think the testicle clamp should work, like some sort of
Yeah, I have dirty material,
dog.
By the way, but my dirty material has more to do with, a messy husband and laundry.
Dirty laundry,
that's my dirty material. Actual dirt.
Dirty laundry to me involves, gain. It's like gain fabric softener.
Or those new washer sheets for laundry.
Oh yeah, have you tried them?
No.
Okay.
Do you sell those? I was confused. Are you selling those or just?
I'm not selling them. I'm just kind of pushing them on people. They're saving plastic and they're saving water and they're saving. And they're actually pretty good. They're pretty light.
We can try it, and plus you don't have to worry about spilling them.
No. And it's really nice taking them to the laundromat because it's like you can put them almost in your back pocket and just throw them in there.
Yeah,
so you don't have to carry all those extra, heavy things. And they're just biodegradable for the most part. They send them in just cardboard boxes.
Okay.
We'll check.
Do you want your poem?
Oh, sorry. Talking too much. Sorry.
Hold on. Let's put.
Didn't mean to get you on a tangent there talking about laundry. Okay, today's poem. Ukraine has captured over 150 Russian prisoners of war. Zelensky is taking the fight to Moscow. Can't wait to hear more. The Democratic National Convention is now in Chicago. Listen up, off-night fans. Here is what you need to know. Kamala Harris has accepted the nomination for prez, and Republican candidate Trump argues about everything she says. Tonight's speakers should include Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. While Trump is talking economics, his obvious ignorance does widen. Trump and Harris both claim to hate inflation, but either economic proposal means a higher prices situation. Talk show legend Phil Donahue has died. I heard that girl broke down and also cried. Comedian Perry Kurtz was killed in a hit and run. He brought us many laughs before his life was done. And that is your poem for this week.
Well, thank you, Susan. Great.
You're welcome. Did I interrupt your dinner there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm eating chicken noodle soup. All right, let's get the other guys out here because Susan always likes to say hi to everybody before she takes off. Here he is from New York City. Please welcome Sam Greenfield.
Hang on.
Hi, Sam. You're in the dark.
Sam's in a very dark room. Oh, he just left. All right, here's Jason. We'll talk to Jason.
Hi, Jason.
How you guys doing?
We're doing well, thank you.
There's Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Is that you with Woody Allen and Diane Keaton, Jason?
Yeah, just think of me as the guy driving the cab instead of Christopher Walken.
Oh.
That's for walking.
Two things I came
I don't
away
know.
with. Susan talking about Phil Donahue dying and Perry Kurtz getting killed by a hit and run. And I was thinking, all right, way to end on a high note. And then I was thinking, about Andy talking about those kids using dirty jokes. And he spends 3 minutes talking about nut clamps. So, yeah, way to clean it up, Lenny Bruceberg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Notice I
Christ.
said nut clamps. I didn't, or I said testicles, something like that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That'll work real well at the teen
Yeah.
convention.
he didn't
Oh,
call
yeah.
him. He didn't call them ball busters. All right, give
This
him
is the bell.
I get euphemisms.
Is that a good
Euphemisms.
humor, man? What the hell is that?
Oh,
It was TV. It was TV clean. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, we'll go with that.
Yeah. And I thought post nut
It
clarity
was?
was a bad name for cereal. Nut clamps definitely worse.
Yeah, nut clamps. Yeah. They'll have you on Colbert in no time. What the hell are you talking about, Andy? Could you drop the nut clamp thing and maybe just say ball bracer? Could you do that?
Could you do that?
Maybe he's talking about pistachios and almonds and
And yet we all know better.
walnuts.
But we all know better.
Walnuts.
We're rationalizing now.
I think
Yeah,
so.
at this point.
Couple more.
You know
Can't
what's
live without
funny? If I'm sorry I wasn't there last night, but in that circumstance, I would have actually been able to come up with about 5 minutes. I know you guys are thinking, what, may God strike me dead if I couldn't do 5 clean. Oh, I'm dead.
Let me tell you something. The dirtiest comic I've ever seen, only Mark knows him, is Maurice. And I saw Maurice do 20 clean minutes. Funny,
Yeah.
clean minutes.
Yeah.
And I said to him, could you do that all the time? He goes, yeah. I go, why don't you? He says, I don't want to. I said, okay. All right.
There you go. There you go.
You know. But I mean, when I say he's dirty, I mean like
Next level.
This is the collective face of the audience. Okay. I mean, dirty.
I think I've heard of this guy. They like warn the audience.
He's an
Maurice.
African American comic. He never
Yeah.
leaves the tri-state area, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
He's a former Marine. Lives in Newark, New Jersey. Smokes more pot than any 3 people you know, and is a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy.
I seem to remember Patrice talking about him, or maybe I'm mad, but saying because he was talking about how people would get on his case. It's like, have you seen this guy? And he's talking about how they have to warn the audience.
No one who knows Maurice, Maurice, has a bad word to say about him.
Yeah.
No one. They may say, "Is his act? Do you like his act?" No. But how about him? Oh, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
I remember when Tim Allen and Sheila Kay were the dirty acts in Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim Allen. Listen, Tim
Allen?
Allen was dirty.
You're
Oh my
kidding me.
God.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
Yeah, but
Oh,
when
yeah.
you saw
And always dressed in a nice suit, but he was
Yep.
filthy. Oh my
well,
God.
you know who else dressed in the nice suit was shoot.
Bye, Susan.
Bye, Susan. The guy who Bobby
Slayton.
Bobby Schimmel.
Oh yeah.
Schimmel.
Bobby Schimmel always wore
but
a nice suit.
yeah. And I'm told he was one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet.
Super nice.
Most toughest luck guy I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
Died in a car crash.
Yes.
His son
After
died.
beating cancer.
Yeah.
After beating cancer.
And had the best tag name of any Jew I've ever heard. I said, "What name do you go by?" He goes, "Sei gesund." You know, I was sitting next to him at the Improv in LA, and I can't remember who was on the stage. Oh God. Now I remember. It was Dennis Leary. And Schimmel leans over to me and goes, And I knew him just to say hi. He was a nice guy, but I didn't really know him. He goes, and he taps me on the shoulder. He goes, Daddy, can thieving pricks be funny? Can thieving pieces of shit be funny, Daddy? He's a thieving prick. I go, I go, who, Leary? He goes, no, Van Gogh. What the fuck? Yes.
Larry.
All right, take it easy. But yeah, he goes, and of course the guy who really called him out was oh God, he died.
Geraldo.
Huh?
Greg Geraldo.
Greg Giraldo. Yeah, on was it Tough Crowd?
I think it was
Or
Tough
what?
Crowd, and he went right at him.
Yeah, he went right at his throat.
Nose to nose. That's what sold me on Greg Giraldo, because I'd only seen a few clips of him here and there, and after I saw that, I thought, man, what iron balls? Because Leary was hot at the time. Leary was
very hot at
ascendant.
the time.
And to go after somebody, and I wasn't doing I was doing a comic, but that was, never mind that. I met him, in a bar.
He seemed funny.
Well, but a lot of the stuff didn't come at that time. We didn't know. There was no internet, so there wasn't an easy way to call people out.
Only comics who saw comics knew who was the thief.
Exactly, and then when you heard about that he basically took Bill Hicks's act, and then when you actually put the two together and listen to them side by side, and you just go, this is ridiculous. This is so clear.
I'll tell you who's a bigger piece of shit than him. Robert Morton, who used to produce the Letterman show.
Right.
He dropped Bill Hicks from the show.
Yes. For last set.
And when they asked, who dropped him, he went just like this. Moi. I went, I hope you break a leg. I hope your ankle falls off, you fuck.
Yeah, Letterman made good on that in the end, though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did. It was a mistake, and
he had he had Bill Hicks's mother on because Bill couldn't be on there. I thought that was awesome.
Oh yeah, because they said that this isn't an act that people want to see. It's too dirty. And he said, "Well, my mother saw the act. She thinks it's funny."
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Hicks had done television, so he knew how to do. What did you guys say?
Was such
TV
a nothing.
clean.
It was such a nothing thing for them to do. It wasn't even an arguable issue. The guy had done like 12 shows. Please, it just, and he's dead now. That makes it even worse. We've been deprived of his genius. But there are people. By the way, I just saw a woman on the Letterman on the Colbert Show. She had a Polish last name. I can't remember who she was. She was the least funny comedian I have seen in years on TV.
More than Hannah Gadsby?
Yes.
That's saying something.
Yes.
Gadsby isn't trying to be funny.
And she's accomplished that goal.
And she succeeds admirably.
I mean, I'm used to sort of downbeat humor. Paula Poundstone was someone
No, this was beaten down.
Downbeat. Yeah, who could do? Yeah, Poundstone could do that stuff that was downbeat. But you listen to her, and she was funnier than hell. You know what I'm talking about? That sort of undertone.
Yeah.
That.
Do you know what the original name of Annie Hall was? I don't mean the actress. I mean what the original name of the movie was.
No.
Anhedonia. Anhedonia is a psychiatric term for someone who is unable to feel pleasure. Anti-hedonist, anhedonia.
Right.
But Marshall Brickman, who co-wrote Annie Hall, said to Woody Allen, "No one will know what the hell that is." So they changed it to Annie Hall.
Yeah.
And to me, the crown princess of Anhedonia is Paula Poundstone.
Yes.
Okay. I always think of these three words. Is that it? Because that's what she would say after sex.
Is that all there is?
I think Andy was telling me about one of her routines where she's trying to commit suicide in a car in a garage, and she goes to a parking structure. Yeah. And she's sort of like, well, I don't know, I think I'm a little lightheaded.
Yeah. I'm trying to work on it. We need some parking.
The one joke she did that I really, she was funny, but the one joke she did that I really enjoyed was she said, I don't know if you read about this, but Sirhan said at his parole hearing. Yeah, you know this one?
No.
At his parole hearing, he says, if Bobby Kennedy was alive, he would want me freed. Wouldn't you know it? The one guy who could spring you and you kill him.
See, that's beautiful Boston sort of, late 80s humor.
And then she did another one like that. She said, I'm trying to keep my act a little more current. So, hey, how about that McKinley assassination, huh?
No,
she did a bit about airplane people. People on the left, don't look at the people on the right. People on the left, we're going to show you a better thing than the people on the right are going to see, so don't tell them.
Oh, by the way, you know that thing?
Allie Makovsky.
That's her. Unfunny.
Oh boy. Well, Mark, I got a question. You say we're going to be doing a clean show. Now, when you say that, are we saying no 4-letter language, or are we talking about the subjects have to be curtailed? Because as well,
Andy, give them the background on the clean show.
Yeah, what's up
TV,
with that?
it's like TV clean. Like
That can mean a lot of things. I mean,
it means like not cable clean, but TV clean.
I mean, I've seen
network TV clean.
Network TV clean. That's pretty much what it is. You can talk about the subjects you want, but realize your audience. Man, it's just a matter of every theatrical person in the world knows.
Well, I'm taking it as a
challenge. You're playing to an audience. Okay. You got to judge what your audience is going to.
Right.
I think the thing to remember, though, and I think we all know this, is you could do the cleanest show in the world and still be unfunny.
Yes.
As most comics are.
Yeah.
What when they were clean?
Or when they were clean or dirty. Most comics are not funny.
Yeah. Do you think that's true?
In this day and age? Go to
something.
Sam, go to a comedy club. Take a look.
No, you can't make me. No.
Yeah, I know. Well, in that case, for your own well-being, don't go to a comedy club.
I got to tell you something. When I was working at, and Bill Maher and I have this in common, because he used to be the host of the open mic at Catch.
Uh-huh.
And I was the host of the open mic at Garvin's. And we were talking one day, and he said, "You just do this for the money, right?" And I go, "Don't you?" He goes, "Yes." God, I hate it. I hate it so much. I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, because, they're not funny. I mean, even the ones who are funny aren't funny," which I thought was a great line. Even the ones who are funny aren't funny. He said, "So what do I have to do? I can't stand and look at them. I can't do it. So I know how long they're going to be on stage. So I go outside and I smoke a joint. And by the time the show's over, I can't see. I don't know where I am." I said, "Well, then don't smoke." He goes, "What did you say?" He said, "What do you do?" I said, I have a girlfriend. I said, "I just go to another room and talk to her." He goes, "God, if that's all it took."
Well, you guys must have all had occasions where you did material that killed at one point, and then for whatever reason that night, that material just lays there and dies a horrifying death.
Oh, yeah.
And is it the audience just being a dead audience, which occurs?
There is stuff that works there is stuff that works in Toledo that will not work in Minnesota.
I also have a theory about something
that will not work in Toledo.
I also have a theory about something.
Yeah.
Stand-up comedy is like a pair of shoes. And when the show starts, your show starts, when you get up and get out of bed, your feet either go right into the shoes and you're going to have a good set, or you struggle to get them on and you're not.
Right.
Either it's going to fit or it's not. Or the least little thing, because of where your mind is that night, upsets you. Mm-hmm. Or there's someone in the audience and you say something to them and they say something that just sets you off. And that happened to me in Seattle. I just, I know that Mark, of blessed memory, Mark, but there was this comic, Brian Kiley, who used to write for, he wrote for somebody for years. Conan for years, and a very, very nice guy. And this guy was heckling him, and he said, and he is the nicest guy, work clean, not a mean bone in his body. and I'm watching him, and he did a line that absolutely made my heart stop. He looked at him. He said, "I'd like to shoot you and fuck the wound." Just like that, exactly like that. And I went, ah! I said, "Oh my God, not Brian Kiley. Holy shit. Where are the standards? Jesus Christ." Kiley said that. And the guy, he terrified him.
Oh, wow.
And I said to Brian, I said, "Working clean, huh?" He said, "I have never wanted to hit a human being harder than I wanted to hit him. I wanted to punch him and knock out his teeth." I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "That guy is shit and should be dropped in a vat of acid." I said, "Holy fuck." I said, "How about, well, you know what it
How do you
reminds
really
me of?
feel?
I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Emo had this line where somebody was giving him a hard time. God, he was funny. And he goes, "Oh, look at this. My first heckler. See here, young man."
But Emo came out with that persona that allowed him to go in that direction.
Oh, absolutely. One of his classic lines. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Well, I'm just saying, one of the things that I found that I've been able to do. I'm not trying to brag here by any means, because I'm a wretched open micer, and it'll probably never be anything other than.
Oh, quit your bragging.
Bragging.
Hey, look. You know what? If I got 20 people to laugh, I consider that a great night.
Let me tell you something. In any audience, this has
Right.
been my experience. If 1/3 of the audience laughs at every joke you say, you're killing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You're killing.
And the thing is, there have been times I've come out and kind of stumbled, or I know that this material just isn't working, and I've been able to pivot to sort of a secondary set that does work, and even you have to acknowledge it a little bit. It's like, well, this isn't going the way I'd like it to go. Shall we go, and then move in another direction. And if you get enough people to go along with you, and of course, if your material is good, you can sort of pull it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Other
Exactly.
times, you just sort of have to admit defeat, and it's like, well, let's just do the best we can and see if we can schlep out of here.
That happened to me, and I got a huge laugh from this. I said, folks, every comic at the end of their set, does a bit that's their killer bit, that just wows the audience, that just brings them up in great applause. I don't see that happening here. But my favorite emo line, you'll remember this, Mark. He goes, "I was having a drink at my favorite bar," you're smiling already, "at Downers Grove in Illinois. And there were men behind me laughing. Well, it turned out they were using the back of my head as a dartboard. Well, I put my foot down. I said, okay, you ruffians, finish this game, and then that's it." Oh, God. And I'll tell you a joke. Correct me. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. This is a joke I don't think he could do now. He said, I used to love to go to the park and watch the little kids jumping up and down and screaming and yelling. And I think to myself, don't they know these are blanks?
Great line.
I don't think he could do it. I don't think he could do that now.
No, probably
you
couldn't.
Not. No, you couldn't.
My
But the joke is genius.
My favorite emo joke is, I came across this guy in a bridge. He's about to jump. I said, don't do it, fella. Don't do it. You got so much to live for. Where are you from? I'm from Pennsylvania. Well, that's fun. Me too. What town are you from? I'm from Poughkeepsie. You too? Me too. What street are you on? I was on Ohio Street. That's funny. Me too. What church do you go to? I go to the Presbyterian Church. That's funny. I do too. Which one? The Second Presbyterian. And I shoved him off this thing and I said, heretic. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God.
See, he was very good at baiting the hook and then just being able to reel you in at the last minute. No
idea what was going to happen. Yeah.
You know what drove him crazy? I mean, he would stop being emo and become Phil Seltonic, which is his real name.
Smoking?
in a club, and this was not uncommon in these days, you could do this. If someone near him lit a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. The guy who was the sound engineer at Garvin's, Tracy Faust, he's up in his booth, up top, and he lights a cigarette. And Emo says, "Put that goddamn thing out." And Tracy said, "Do you want a recording of your set tonight?" He goes, "Well, of course I do." He says, "Then get the fuck out of my studio."
Hmm.
He said, "You're just visiting. Now get the fuck out and you'll get your tape."
Woo.
And I said, "Wow, I've never heard you act like that." He said, "Listen, if he had said to me, 'Would you please put that out?' I would have put it out. But, don't act like the county sheriff, okay? Fuck him." And I said, "Well, I think you're wrong. I think you're spreading cancer wherever you go." He goes, "Really?" I go, "No, but I just thought I'd take a shot. I just, So could I have one?"
Well, it was back at the time though when you could still smoke in the club. So
You could smoke it. Listen, when I was a kid, Sam said, trying to show you
Mhm.
just how old he is, you could smoke in a maternity room.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which explains a lot about my genetic deformities. But
we had a guy. Andy and I worked doing cabs in Ann Arbor for many years, doing the same A-Ride Green, which was old people, folks who. We had one guy who damn near killed himself while he was smoking in an oxygen tent.
He killed himself?
No, he lived, sadly.
Oh, let me tell you something. I know a woman like that.
Hospital, but
yeah. I know a woman like that. Her name was Judy Newhouse, and Judy was the director of off-campus registering. And so I was getting my master's degree, so I helped her with all this stuff. She went to the hospital for heart surgery. She was smoking, and you could see the smoke go into the tube. Okay, into the tube. And so I said to her, I said, "So on the day of this registration, Judy loved two things." I'm sure Judy's dead. I hate saying it, but I'm sure she is, because she wasn't quitting. And she wasn't a kid then. And Judy loved two things more than life itself: coffee and smokes. So she said, "Here's $10. Please go to the store and get me 2 packs of Cools." Always good for you, that fiberglass filter. 2 packs of Cools and a large cup of coffee. And I said, "Don't we have a coffee maker here?" She says, "It's broken. In fact, get me 2 cups." I said, "Okay." So it's a bone-chilling rain. And it's a block and a half to this place, which normally wouldn't bother me, but it was just awful. So we get there, and the store is closed.
Ooh.
So I came back and I said to Judy, "The store is closed. There's no cigarettes and there's no coffee." And I thought she was going to cry.
Yeah,
I really thought she was going to cry. And I said, "I'll tell you what. Let me look around." So I went to another store that was 3 blocks away, and I got her what she asked for. And she said, "Here," and started to give me $5. I said, "Judy, you don't have to tip me. Okay? You don't have to tip me, Jesus. I did a favor for you. It's my pleasure, I said, "Although," and then I said, "Don't tell her to stop smoking. Don't tell her to stop smoking." And so I didn't.
No.
Because she'll go for my throat. No.
No.
But when I saw that smoke go into the tube, I was like, take a fucking hint. Jesus Christ. Smokey the Bear thinks you're an addict. Jesus. Man.
Well, I again, I know I've told the story, but after my mom meeting with the cardiologist, imploring her to get the heart transplant list and all that going, and her just saying, "No, we're done, goodbye," and going home and buying bacon and a carton of cigarettes on the way home.
That'll show them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, own it, Ma. Own it. Don't mess around with these. They ain't gonna tell you a goddamn thing. That's for sure. So, I mean,
well, that's right.
But I mean,
that's me, and I apologize.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Well, in the early 70s, she gets pulled over by the cops after closing the bar, and they're asking her, you know, why are you driving? And she says, I'm too fucking drunk to walk. And but they follow her home and make sure she gets in the driveway. That's 1971 or 72. Try that now. It's not going to work that way now. You know, I mean,
I don't remember where I heard this joke, but a cop pulled me over, and he said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And I said, "Hold on, I got to take a message on my phone."
oh dear. Yeah. Well, like you say,
I said, "A cop pulled me." No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Oh, by the way,
hey, I'm gonna be off for a couple minutes, fellas. Keep it going. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy.
So,
But I mean, I'm
there
not
was a
trying to get you
comic
off.
who was, what's the word I'm looking for? Unfunny.
Yeah.
And he did this joke about Jeopardy.
Right.
And it was just so bad. And he goes, listen, what he says, and he goes, you know, he does all these categories of Jeopardy, and some guy goes, I got one, comics who suck for $100. And the place erupted, and I'm looking into the guy's eyes, and his whole world is just shriveling into like a crumpled up ball of aluminum.
Wow.
He just, but it was genuinely unfunny, really not funny.
Yeah.
So I don't know the one joke I did about quiz shows was when I was on a $25,000 pyramid, and the celebrities were Loretta Swit, who was wonderful, and Robert Hedges, who played Epstein on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, okay.
Who might have been the dumbest son of a bitch who ever put on shoes. I have never met. Oh my God. Oh, all right. I'm going to give you the clue I gave him, and you'll give me the answer. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I thought this was a perfect clue. You ready? A toothache, an earache, your feelings.
Hurt?
Things that hurt?
Thank you. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh my God.
He goes, things that hassle you.
What?
So the joke I did on stage was, this is why they have hand restraints on the sides of the chairs.
What to say? That's when you're legally allowed, I think, to pull a 45 out and just put 2 in his chest, right?
You know, I tried that, and the judge said, you know, that's not the right way. You should have had a 38.
You should you should have told them they were blanks, you know.
I'll tell you how bad he was. The contestant coordinator, a very nice lady named Edie Chan, walked up to me and said, I am so sorry. and she and I talked afterwards, and I'll tell you what was really funny was the week before we were on, or those two celebrities were on, she had Nipsey Russell, who's very smart and very funny, and was very successful with the, you know, contestants, and Connie Francis, who Robert Hedges called the dummy.
Oh dear.
I mean, she was worse. Like, let's say the clue I just gave you. She goes, I don't know. How would I know? I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, and you could hear the executive producer going, "Who the fuck? What?" But here's the reason they had to keep her, because at the time, this isn't true anymore. At the time, as my face explodes, at the time, it was very hard. This was shot in New York. It was very hard to get celebrities who lived in New York. Now that's not true anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They all have 2 houses.
But you don't want to book Connie at the Howard Johnsons. That's a bad idea.
Oh my! You know the funny. I'll tell you what's really hysterical about that.
Yeah, I gotta hear this.
Her husband. You know that you'll find this funny. Don't lie to me. Oh, I'm offended. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tonight's episode, offend Jason. It's a brain killer. Watch Jason as he goes, wait a minute, that does it.
Hold on. You've crossed the line, Mr. Greenfield.
I think you've overstepped yourself, young man.
I don't think, I mean, what are you going to do? Start singing Who's Sorry Now? As you
Sacre bleu. No, stupid Cupid. No, here's what happened. Her husband sued the Howard Johnson, get ready, for loss of her services.
Loss of consortium. Yeah, that's absolutely.
And I was on the airplane, ironically, that she got kicked off of because she wouldn't, ironically, put out a
Yeah.
cigarette. And they said,
You're-
ma'am, you have to put out the cigarette. And she said, dispelling any proof about who's the dumbest celebrity that ever put on feet or shoes or anything, she goes, do you know who I am? I am fucking Constanza Francanero. That's who I am. And the woman behind me goes, I thought it was Connie Francis. I said, it is Connie Francis. Then who the fuck is? I said, that's her
That's
real
her
name.
real name. Yeah.
She goes, why doesn't she use her real name? I said, I don't know, because it's really long and involved. And she goes, yeah, I guess. God, she's acting like an asshole. And so all of a sudden, this woman who says this goes, kick the bitch off. And they took her off the plane.
Well, I
They
mean,
took-
that there was a time you just you got. Well, of course, she's not flying private. I mean, she's not on a private jet.
No, she's no. You know the old joke. This couple wanted to fly United, but the stewardess wouldn't let them.
Ah,
Oh,
There you go.
there you
Uh,
go.
Somebody
There you
asked me, "Have you ever been? Have you ever been a member of the Mile High Club?" I said, "I can't think of anything I would rather do less
go.
than have sex in a place 5 feet by 5 feet." That
Well-
I don't need it that bad. Now, if it was 5 feet by 6 feet, now you're
Well,
talking.
to say, what the holding cell I was in was a little bit bigger but never mind. I don't think you guys need to know all the details there.
Yes, why
Well-
not?
Uh,
Why don't you let us decide?
yeah, but there exactly. Here we go. Tales of Love from Jackson Prison with your host Jason Grant.
How about this? Grab that sink.
Usually we consider that foreplay. Yeah, that's sort of like that enchanting sort of chat you up, or as the kids say these days, to riz somebody. That's the new term for the kids.
I just noticed something. I'm watching the Democratic convention.
Oh God.
And take it easy.
I wasn't.
And let's say they've had 11 women speaking.
Yes.
Okay. 9 are African American.
oh yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's because there are a lot of African American women elected from that party, or are they dropping a big fat fucking hint? I don't know.
What I can tell you, and again, if you want to call me a shill of the Trump campaign, whatever, go ahead. I don't care. The thing is, Kamala Harris had for years.
I don't know who that is. It's not me.
Andy, is that you?
Or is it me? Is it me?
Oh.
No, it's me.
For years, Kamala Harris has tested very high. She's very popular with the African American women contingent in the Democrat Party. I mean, and those
Well,
are
would you think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
Democratic
but the
Party.
thing is,
Democratic Party.
with men,
Democratic Party.
with men, not so much. And with the black men, she does not have the same sort of carry. And I think they're just trying to boost that up. That's my opinion. You take it for whatever it's worth. But we all know that black women in the National Socialist Democratic Party, okay, I'm sorry, but black women in the party do a ton of work. They are the muscle that makes
absolutely.
an awful lot of that party
Doug
move.
Jones, they elected a Democratic senator to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. It's sort of like having the church preachers on your side. You may
Yes.
not. You're not going to win without them.
Yeah, that's true. Simple. Now, also, I was looking at the lineup for Trump's got this plan, which I've never actually heard anybody say about him, but Trump's got this plan.
The Trump plan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're ready now.
I've got it. Yeah, we've got
shaking in our
plan.
boots now. Tell us more, Master Planner. That he's going to interrupt the Democratic convention. I mean, he can't short circuit it, but he's going to interrupt the Democratic convention with his own little news breaks and opinions. And I thought, and I'm telling you now, if I was a Republican and I was his advisor, I would tell him, please don't do that.
No, don't waste your time.
Just don't do it. Just don't. It's a mistake. And also, he said something the other day, which means which legally should allow him to be escorted to the home, when he said he was better looking than her.
Well,
oh, not well. Come on. Well, stop it.
Better looking than
Stop
her.
it. That's like when you call John Tester fat. Have you looked in the mirror, you KFC addict? Jesus Christ.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I mean,
Hey,
you
look,
know,
I'm still
that's
hooked
like
on
me
the
calling someone
1960.
shorty. Come
I'm
on.
still on the 1960 Democrat convention when Harry Truman boycotted
Democratic
because
convention.
Democratic.
because the
Democratic.
And it's Kamala. It's
the
Kamala.
convention had already been settled via the primary
Kamala.
process and
And
not
it's
enough.
Kamala. It's not
Kamala.
Kamala.
Whatever.
Kamala.
Lotus flower. That's what her name means in Hindi.
Sanskrit. Sanskrit.
Whatever. Same thing.
Say-
A
Oh
language I don't
well,
speak.
well. Thank you, United Nations breath.
You can see why my
Wow.
career in public relations didn't really take off. Maybe something saying about why don't you get back on your magic carpet and fly back to where at Abadabaland or wherever it is you came from. You
Well,
filthy
Trump can't
camels.
do that because the carpet would fall. By the way, the one thing that I'll never forget about Trump is when he and his two children, grown children, oldest children, who are both business majors, didn't know the answer to 17 times 6.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I did. That stunned me.
102?
Yes. And not only
Wow.
that, once he found out the answer, he went, oh, no, that's not right. Come on.
Yeah, hold on.
Donald, go. They're having a sale at KFC. Get a 3-pack and shut up.
Well, I mean, do you remember back during when we were trying to elect Bush Jr.? Oh, my God. And they were asking him who the prime minister of such a country was and this and that. He completely whiffed, but I think he knew who the oil minister for Saudi Arabia was because, I mean, he's a Bush after all. I mean, he knows who signs the paychecks.
But you know something that won for him, besides James Baker, was people, because Gore said things that he could get called on. That he could get, called on. Like, why would you say this? Why would you say? And Bush never did.
Gore had the same problem Hillary did. His campaign manager was shit. It really
I agree. I cannot believe she hired that guy. I cannot believe she hired that guy.
I'm trying to think of the guy. I can see his face. I can't think of his name. I mean, I'm one of the few people who would like to have
he had one bad eye.
Trading card. Yes. I've got trading cards for bad.
And became a Republican,
manager.
by the way.
Well, there you go. It says everything.
What was his name?
It tells you about the Uniparty, doesn't it?
Are we talking about
Al Gore's campaign manager, the one who kept Bill Clinton in the basement? Bill Clinton, one of the most popular presidents, who even after being impeached and whatnot, going head to head with
still had a
Newt
popularity
Gingrich,
rating of 66%.
And I was about to say it had one of the highest popular ratings of all time. And I will say this as
was it Pat Cadell?
No, that was his pollster. That was the pollster.
But that guy was also his manager.
Was it really? Because
yes, and I'll tell you the reason I know that. I interviewed him.
Okay.
And you're going to love this. What did we just say his original job was?
Was
pollster,
it pollster?
Right?
Yeah.
And the person who brings him on, the guy, he wrote a book, and the book, I think the book essentially said, "You think you fucked up," but the pollster, but he said, "Don't ask him any questions about polls." I said, "You're kidding. You have to be kidding. He's a pollster. That's like having Mickey Mantle on and saying, "Don't ask anything about the Yankees." What are you talking about? You can't be serious. Well, it's not something he wants to talk about. I said, I don't care what he wants to talk about. I couldn't care less. Why would I care what he wants to do? This is my interviewing him. Well, he'll walk out. I go, then he'll walk out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to have to. Well, I don't know. I just when you're the vice president trying to become president after a 2-term president, it's a difficult task. Not a lot of people have pulled that off. Bush Sr. was able to pull it off, but it's a minority because there's a certain, weariness amongst the electorate that you have to overcome. And Gore had managers who were like putting the bridle on him. Remember what he was like when he went on Letterman after the campaign, didn't give a crap about anything, and
was loose.
and just had the audience rolling. And a lot of people were saying, if this is the Gore we'd seen out there, different
Wasn't Al
story.
Gore's campaign manager Donna Brazil?
She
No.
was an advisor.
No,
She
she was an
she's not a
advisor.
manager. She's an
Okay.
advisor,
Yeah.
And
and
also,
she's another one who drives me up the
it
wall.
was
but she
also a
knows-
left wing for the Boston Bruins.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to roll over in bed and see her next to you, and you've had way too much Everclear.
You could have stopped it next to you.
Yeah,
I have a friend who describes women like that. The description is, if you got in a fight with her, you'd win, but she'd hurt you.
oh, it'd be like when Andy Kaufman took on the one lady wrestler and damn near got his ass killed in the ring. Remember?
I thought that was the greatest stunt I've ever seen.
That whole thing with the wrestler.
That whole thing
was
with Jerry
amazing.
Lawler.
Yeah, with the troll was amazing. No one was a better troll than Kaufman.
Oh my God.
He used to drive me up the wall till I got the joke. And once I got the joke, I'm going, oh my God, this is brilliant on a whole 4D level, of brilliance.
Well, he also did stuff like he'd go on stage and literally read Hamlet.
Yes, he'd read the whole thing.
And the audience would start booing. He goes, "You're going to make me start over."
This is at a time when Steve Martin is filling up arenas doing King Tut.
But King Tut was a staged bit. This was just
was,
how can I drive the audience? How old was Kaufman when he died? He was like 36.
He was.
Does that sound right?
He was not an old man. He was what, 81, 82 when he died. I mean, he
Who?
was very. And Andy Kaufman, wasn't it in 1981 or 82?
Oh, you mean the year?
Yeah,
Jesus.
the year. No,
I think it was 83. I think it was 83. But the thing that was funny, not funny, haha, but ironic, was he died of lung cancer. Never smoked a joint. Never smoked a cigarette. And I'll tell you who else was like that. Christopher Reeve's wife.
Yes.
Dana Reeves never smoked a joint, never smoked a cigarette, died of lung cancer.
I mean, Christopher died because of his pact with the devil, which they all have to do in order to play Superman.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, we all
What's
know
worse than Christopher Walken? Christopher Reeve.
Oh.
And yet we laugh.
Andy Kaufman was 35 when he died in 1984.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Let me see. In 1984, I was 36.
God. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was 35. I'm sorry. That's right.
And my strongest memory of that year was a girl who dumped me, came back to see me at a comedy club, and I was crazy about her. And I said, "Why are you here?" And she goes, "Well, my new boyfriend, right?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, he bores me." I said, "We can't do this." I said, "Listen, there's an old saying that no matter how dead the flame, the ember still glows. So no matter what you did to me, there's always going to be a part of my heart that loves you, but you have to get dressed and get out of the car now."
God, I've said that to so many of my dates.
And take your sister with you, please.
Well, I've never said that, but
come and knock on our door.
That was another one.
For you.
Talk about the mild homophobia of the early 1980s. The only way Jack can live with these.
That is the perfect description of that. That is the perfect descriction. A mild. It sounds like a doctor. Jason, you have a case of mild homophobia.
Well, no, that would be my parents, who would be like It's like, the youngest and the oldest both had their girlfriends spend the night, and we used to smoke pot at the table. And he's always downstairs by himself, and every now and then one of his friends sleeps over. But no, it's not that. Don't no. I mean, meanwhile, my parents would carry on like a couple of meth-soaked Southern hillbilly porn stars in the mid 1970s.
Who's that behind you, Jason?
That is Slim Pickens.
Oh my God. From Blazing Saddles.
From Blazing Saddles.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Someone's gonna have to go back and get a shitload of dimes. Who wrote? Was Pryor the only guy who wrote that script? Did anyone else have?
No, it's got about 8. It got about 8 authors credited. And Bergman was an author on that too, wasn't he?
Ingmar Bergman.
No. Andy Bergman. Let me
Oh,
look
I'm
up.
sorry.
Let me look it
Ingrid
up.
Bergman.
I mean, the
Jesus.
casting of Harvey Korman as the Simon Legree, the heavy.
He wore a blazing
Hedley Lamar.
saddle.
When Count Basie is playing and then he rides past the Count Basie orchestra, I mean, with the Gucci saddlebags.
Remember what Mel Brooks said when he goes, "It's Hedley." He goes, "Who gives a shit? You can sue her."
Help me in with what was the blonde chick that played his secretary? Was she the one who died in a tragic car accident?
Who's
Carol
secretary?
Wayne.
You're thinking of Carol Wayne,
I am.
who drowned.
I'm not thinking of Jessica Savage because that wasn't tragic.
Oh, that was awful. Oh my God, that was awful. Carol Wayne drowned.
Yeah. Well, so did Jessica Savage. She turned her car over in like 8 inches of water
in like a small little canal in Pennsylvania.
And did you ever see? I mean, I feel bad. I make fun, but I mean, did you ever see her last appearance on NBC when she was so bombed she couldn't read the?
Yes, I did see it.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. And I've
Andrew Bergman. Andrew Bergman was the
Andrew Bergman.
Wasn't he one of Fire Sign Theater's people?
That's Andrew Bergman, correct.
God, Fire Sign Theater.
Mel Brooks, Norm Steinberg, Andrew Bergman, Richard Pryor, Alan Uger. Story by Andrew Bergman. So Andrew Bergman was the guy that came up with the whole idea.
And Norman Steinberg went on to become a talent agent. It was
really?
Rollins, Jaffe, Mara, Bresner, and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Pryor?
Well, his whole career went up in smoke.
Hello.
I remember that as one of the few times I actually gotten emotional in the cab in front of one of my passengers when it was on a Saturday night. I picked this gentleman up and we were, he was not pick him up grinder, but I mean cab. He was in the back. And they came on the radio and said Richard Pryor had died and they were starting to do some of his classic bits. And I just really got misty eyed about it because the guy had just been, I never knew the man, but he was such a big part of me growing up.
The night that he caught fire.
Oh my God.
Was the same night that Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran.
Yep.
Wow.
So I was depressed on so many levels.
Yeah. But then I remember when Duran lost to marvelous Marvin Hagler, the greatest boxer of my generation.
I'm going to tell you something. If Marvin Hagler hit you, you would feel it next week.
I would know. I'd be dead. It just Marvin Hagler was the greatest pound for pound boxer, and that's when I knew sports was fixed. When he lost,
to Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, when he lost.
No. The reason he lost to Leonard, I went to that fight. I saw that fight on closed circuit in Kansas City.
He was outpointed.
No. The reason he lost is because Sugar Ray Leonard stayed away from him until the last 30 seconds of each round, and then boom, 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 boom. So he picked up points at the end of the round.
But if you're going to defeat the champion, you have to take the belt, and they gave it to him on a decision. And
because he couldn't, you can't hit. Well, he wouldn't hit. He should have gone after him. He didn't go after him.
It was a
he should have put him in a corner. I'm serious. Even if they took a point from him, he should have pushed him in a corner and knocked the shit out of him, and he didn't do it.
They had also changed the fight from 15 rounds to 13 rounds because of Dead Duck Kim. And to me that was when those
13 rounds.
Yeah, it was a 13.
Not 13.
It was 13 instead of 15. Or 12.
Shouldn't have been died up. Wouldn't that be 12 rounds? No one ever did a 13
but
rounds.
it was not a 15 round fight.
Who did Kim fight?
I forget who Kim fought, but
Ray Boom Mancini.
Mancini, that's right. But he fought that and he died. Because Koreans are pretty damn tough. Even when they know they're going to die, they stay right in the ring with you.
The reason he died is because he fell and the rope went back and snapped and hit his cerebral cortex.
Yeah, it's a comedy show, folks, and so
that's how Davey Moore died.
Yeah,
who was the subject of a song by Pete Seeger? Who killed Davey Moore? What did he die, and what's the reason for it?
So. At any rate, I thought Hagler got. I mean, you saw it, but I thought Hagler got ripped off.
It's 9 o'clock, everybody.
Yeah.
Time to go watch. Time to go watch the convention. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for tonight's show. Thanks to Susan for her great poem. She always leaves the show up
As always.
And we'll see everybody next Monday night at 8 o'clock. Good night, everybody.
Good night, you
Good night.
bastards. Oh, I got to shoot up. I'll see you.